Hello, it's the fourth act. I'm Alex. Thank you for clicking. It's been a little while since we've uploaded a video. Sorry about that. Our schedules have been pretty unpredictable lately. As you can see, Phil is out doing his own thing again. My co-host is missing. Again. Why won't you spend time with me?
I'm a wreck without you!
Once again, you can hit that like button if you've been missing Phil lately. Anyway, Disney has decided to release Mulan on Disney+. We're skipping the cinematic experience altogether. It's not happening. It's coming straight to the comfort of your own home, but it's $30. Is it worth $30 to watch the live-action remake of Mulan? A lot of people are wondering this, so I've gathered some spoiler-free thoughts, and I have a lot of them, so we're just gonna jump right into no. No. The answer is no. Do not pay to see this movie. This is the latest in a long line of disappointing live-action remakes to Disney's classic animated stories. Just last year, we had The Lion King, Aladdin, and Dumbo, none of which were great. I, as a critic, and also a fan, have always been torn, though, about how to feel about these movies. I get why they're being made. I get why they're being made from a business perspective. You want to introduce a new generation to these stories. Some kids these days might not want to watch early 90s quality of animation. But I even understand from a creative standpoint why you'd want to update them for the times, or just simply the challenge of adapting something into live action. Or even simpler yet, nostalgia. I get it. I get nostalgia. That's The Lion King. That's all that was. I understand, I think, better than most people will just say that these are cash grabs, lifeless. The same thing, but not as good. That's also The Lion King, by the way. But the irony here is that even the original movies are not original. Disney's doing what it does. It takes a story from somewhere else and waters it down to profit off of kids and families. Now they're back 20, 30 years to profit off of these stories again. In the 90s, for example, Mulan was considered an insult to the original Mulan story, and also just Chinese culture in general.
That's it! Dishonor! Dishonor on your whole family! Make a note of this. Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Stop!
Which is why I was excited when Disney announced that they weren't just going to remake the animation. They were going to honor the original Mulan story, and they were going to honor the culture that came with it. There was no Mushu. There was no songs in the trailers. People were freaking out. I called those people hypocrites. This is something different. I want to know about this. I want to learn about the true origins, the true Mulan story. I was so wrong. I finished this movie and I felt exactly as I did at the end of all of the other remakes, which is I understand how this movie came to be. But it's not a good movie. It still has to be a good movie. You still need to make a good movie. Let's just start with Mulan's character, because they butchered her. No longer is she shown to be a human finding that fire within and learning to be a soldier and bringing honor to her family that way. Now she is a superhuman at childhood, and somebody has told her not to use her superpowers. Until halfway through the movie, when someone's like, oh, well, you should be using them. It feels like Captain Marvel all over again, where she hasn't really earned this power that I can see, and I don't know what her character flaw is.
Okay, your turn. Prove you're not a Skrull.
I feel like I'm led to believe that her flaw in this movie is that she's being deceitful to the soldiers around her, but she wouldn't make it that far in the movie if she wasn't being deceitful. So what is the lesson here? That it's okay to lie until you don't have to anymore? There are 0 memorable supporting characters, but let me get back to that because my biggest issue with this movie is the action. The action should have been amazing, but the biggest problem with the action is the editing. I understand that American editing tends to be faster, there tend to be more cuts. I just thought that we were moving away from that. I thought, like, John Wick has existed for 6 years now. This could have been a great opportunity for Disney to make a movie with action along the lines of Ip Man, which has existed for 12 years. And they cast people who know how to do this choreography Donnie Yen is in this movie. That is it, man. I remember a scene when he pulled out a sword and started swinging it around, but the camera cut 4 or 5 times. And I just remember thinking, let us see it. He knows how to do it, so show it to us. Jet Li is in this movie and he's not doing anything. I also want to give a shout out to Liu Yifei, who plays Mulan. You can see her in a TV show in China, actually, she starred in, and even in some American movies, she's doing choreography and she's doing it well. So this movie didn't need to cut so much. It's not just the choreography where the editing is a letdown, there's entire scenes. There's a part where a character goes from point A to point B, miles away, and the way it's cut together just does not work. And all of post-production for that matter, there's bad video effects. There's this weird filter they use in the movie where it's super overexposed and blurry, so you can't see what's going on, and there's just these technical decisions that have been made that I cannot understand. This movie was meant to honor the culture of China, but you will not find that representation behind the camera. In my opinion, that led to a huge waste of an extremely talented cast. If anyone from Disney is listening, I suggest you take a page out of Kevin Feige's book, right? You guys are friends. Just care more. Care more about the characters. Care more about the story that you're telling. I feel like Disney cares about as much as Michael Bay cared about the 5th Transformers movie.
Move, bitch, get out of my way. Move, bitch, get out of my way.
But who the cares what I have to say? Much like the Transformers franchise, Disney's just gonna keep raking in the cash, making more movies as long as people pay for them. But that's it for me. I no longer believe that Disney is going to do justice to any of these classic stories. I don't see these as creative endeavors. These are cash grabs. And it's gonna be hard for me to get excited about any of the remakes they have on their upcoming slate. Because this was it for me. This was the one that was going to prove to everybody why these remakes are worth making. This was their chance to make a really great movie out of a classic story and still have it be something that we hadn't seen before. And to me, it was a complete letdown. That's it for this act. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for clicking. I know we've been uploading less videos lately. Phil will be back eventually. Again, you can hit the like button if you missed Phil this week. We were going to do an agree-disagree for this movie over a Zoom call because he's out of town. That didn't end up working out, but we will get to the other movies. There's stuff to talk about now. There's Tenet. We'll probably do a Tenet review as soon as possible, as soon as movie theaters close enough to us open up where we can see it. But until then, of course, you can like and subscribe, or don't, because you have free will.